people don't understand what it takes to be at the top as well. The sacrifices, the preparation, the continued sort of commitment to stay there, because if you take it off, all of a sudden goes away. And also finding how being the top of the world aligns with who you are as an individual.
I've come to the understanding, even with fighting truly at the nature, only one man survives. We've now created entertainment and diluted what fighting is down to that. But at the end of the day, one man lives and one person dies. That's the core of fighting.
There's one winner.
One winner. That's it. And I was like, wow, I felt amazing. I was like, I don't know. I just had this new way of looking at life and everything. And then that was right when COVID happened.
Right.
So that opened me up
Another
to
dark, challenging time in everybody's life.
Well,
Right?
it opened me up to how the world works, what's going on, and on like a spiritual level, it felt like it gave me purpose, because I was looking at myself and how sick I was, but I was just living normal like everybody else, but I was sick. And so it gave me, this is why I still fight. This is why I'm still alive today, because I want to help everybody clean out their bodies so they're not in pain. You look around right now and 90% of the people in this city are on some sort of medication or have some sort of disease, whether you have high blood pressure, whether you have diabetes, whether you have problems with the thyroid, anxiety, depression, like you name it, all these aren't normal stuff to have. So if I was an athlete, shredded abs, and all this stuff was going on inside of me, what's going on inside of everybody else?
100%.
So I was just happy and high on life and feeling good. And fighting's like, that isn't even me. I don't care about fighting. The ego of Cody, of proving himself, of wanting acceptance, was slowly going away. So they would call me and try to get me to go fight. And I was like, no. And everyone else thought, they're like, well, you worked your whole life for this career and now don't want anything to do with it. You can make money, whatever, but instead you're spending all your time in the mountains and just being by yourself. My whole entire management team at the time was trying to throw me in rehab and different places, because they're like, you're going crazy.
Right.
And
rehab, although you've got the purest body experience of,
right.
Of
I'm like,
everyone.
what about rehab to fast food for you people?
Yeah. Right.
And they would call me to go fight. And I was like, all right, I'd train for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, go fight. The fight were so easy.
Really?
Easy.
Because you had clarity.
I didn't care.
Right.
All that time that I had this focus, like it was only me judging myself for everything. Everyone forgets what happened last week's game.
100%.
It's too fast paced. It's only ourselves that hold on to that judgment, right? And my body, I was moving through time and space better because I wasn't holding as much energetically inside of my body. You'll notice that, like we all have times where we're like running, you're just like, I just don't feel it today. But then other days, nothing's changed, but you're like, why 7 miles an hour so easy? And I can breathe easy. And I can talk to my friend over there.
Right.
And you just don't know. But energetically, everything is just in place, in alignment. You're not wearing all that emotional stuff with you that just kind of hangs us down. And I was just kind of on this high, right? And I'd go train. But at the same time...
And this is 2020?
This is 2020. At the same time, I was becoming a total different person. Total. To the point where I went home to my wife, like, I don't know if I can be here, right? Anymore.
Yeah. If that's what you're expecting, that's not who I am.
Yeah, where I'm going, I don't know if you want to go there.
Right.
So then that started a whole bunch of basically me living in Airbnbs for 3 years.
Wow.
And still trying to fight while off exploring my own new inner world and all these other things about the world. And then I would come back and just fight. And then a whole whack of other issues while all that was going on with...
For sure.
Yeah. People just turning their backs.
Isn't that amazing how that works? When people need you, they're there for you.
Well, the thing that I couldn't get over was all I'm actually trying to do is help. And I'm like, it just didn't make sense how I was being treated. Like, I was telling people, like, okay, we just got told that, like, first of all, do you know how you detoxify the most?
No. No, I don't.
So you're doing it right now through your breath. This is the only open area where we're continuously... You can put your hand here. You can feel the heat. Mm-hmm. You can feel the debris leaving your body. That's why we breathe. if we know that that's the number one way we detoxify, but you're being told to put something over your mouth by someone who's looking out for your best health interest, I'm going to start saying something doesn't make sense.
Right.
And that just kind of went deeper and deeper into the food industry, into sports, into everything. And it was mentally very hard for me to do. Even like being the fighter, like, oh shoot, I am the circus. All these people coming here to eat all this crappy food, to drink,
Right.
to pull away from the feelings that they're having inside of themselves. I want them all to be champions.
Yeah.
I don't want them to come here to watch me fight, to wake up tomorrow morning and them feel worse.
Yeah.
So there were so many mental battles. Like, what am I doing? Is what I'm doing right? Like, I want to follow God. That's it. Because I can't live with anything else. So that literally brings me here today of how am I a 22 undefeated, one of the best fighters in the world, and I'm completely broke.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go to some of the best doctors, the best mental doctors, the best and I see all this inside of them, all this pain, all this hurt, all this and they're trying to tell me other things. And I was like, but that's just a mask you're putting on right now. Mm-hmm. So it's like, until we actually all start changing and all start, none of this is going to change. We're all going to be fighting each other forever. Like, it's just crazy. We got to start coming from our heart space.
Yeah.
But
what a journey, brother. Like, what a journey.
And now I see the dude in front of me, my brother, who I'm being told I need to go fight and beat and everything like that. But I love this man. And I want to see him do good. So in order for me to go and fight and hurt this man, I don't think anyone actually really understands what that takes to go through to do.
Right.
So for me, this is like a carrying of my own cross. And if I do it, it's going to be for a purpose and a reason. And that reason is to show people there's no need to fight.
Right. Yeah. And so you're kind of at this point right now where you've got the opportunities to join the world stage once again, right? Opportunities are presenting themselves and you're going, I don't know that that's what I want, right? How hard is that to think it's not maybe what I want, but maybe this is what I need to do?
It's been a wobbly 3 years.
Yeah.
Trying to do that. And then when I would go and try and fight, God took my eye. Mm-hmm. 2 times I would go fight and he took my eye. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what am I not seeing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I will go and do it and fight again for a bigger purpose. And that's to help. It all boils back to why my dad hung himself. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'll fight for.
Mm-hmm. It's really difficult for anybody listening. It's really difficult. People don't understand what it takes to be at the top as well. The sacrifices, the preparation, the continued sort of commitment to stay there, because if you take it off, all of a sudden it goes away as well, right?
Yes.
And also finding how being the top of the world aligns with who you are as an individual.
Well, going back to that, what you were just saying, what you have to do and the blinders you have to put on. Mm-hmm. The main thing that I'm also trying to tell everyone is that you can be up there doing it too. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just a small kid from a small town who has I don't really know what's going on, right, in the world up here, but it was so basic on how a kid with no skills just went to become one of the best fighters in the world. And it had nothing to do with actually boxing. It just had to do with that mindset. I knew that second training session of the day, if I went and trained and then went out for dinner with a group of people, how that would affect me tomorrow morning.
Right.
I would go straight from the gym home, ice bath, feet up. I was literally doing everything every day, stacking dimes to be the best version of myself for that archetype of the fighter.
Yep.
But other areas of Cody might fall. But that's what that time and purpose was for. So I'm very, very grateful that I did all that. Mm-hmm. I became that person. I used that tunnel vision for that time. Now I'm understanding that if I do go back into it, that old way of doing it, because there's only so many punches you can throw. You can only be so fast, so strong. I've mastered all that in about 10 years. Now, if I go back, it has to be something that is different and exciting, and that's pulling from here. That makes me happy
Everyone
to be
could
in the
see
gym
Cody Crowley is striking me on my own podcast. No, just kidding. Yeah, 100%. right? And, you know, we were talking about this before we kicked off, but it's challenging because it's sort of conflicting for you to take on this next fight and be that fighter when that's not truly what you know is your purpose, but it might be the stage to allow you to really share what you want to share.
I'm understanding in this world that a lot of things aren't fair, and a lot of people have fights and do fights that a lot of people aren't even aware of. Mm-hmm. Is it fair that you're a walking piece of earth and you have to pay a fee to lay your head down at night on a piece of earth? Mm-hmm. You don't see that bird making the other bird out the window slave away to stand on the branch, but that's what humanity has evolved into.
That's where we are.
That's where we are. Yeah. Right. And I see people every single day doing things that they don't want to do. And that is the war. That's the true warrior inside of them, still marching forward, still going. And that's what I'm trying to do with this fight, with the eyes, with everything else I'm going through, is just not giving up, keep going through.
Yeah.
Everything can't be perfect every time. And not everything is going to, how I see reality isn't how you're going to see it or everyone else. We're not always going to agree. So there's always going to be things that I say are wrong or whatnot. And I'm at a point where I'm trying to make peace with that. So I've come to the understanding, even with fighting truly at the nature, only one man survives. That's it. We've now created entertainment and diluted what fighting is down to that. But at the end of the day, one man lives and one person dies. That's the core of fighting.
There's one winner.
One winner. That's it.
And it's interesting too. So a lot of the listeners, one, thank you for sharing all of this. I know a lot of those moments are deep. And I appreciate you sharing, and I know everybody else will too. But I think relating fighting to life in so many ways. One, finding that inner champion within. I think, you know, regardless of whether, you know, fighting has been something that you've loved or you've grown not to love, or that's not who you are, I think understanding how to be a champion is something that really holds deep to you, right? Like, I think you always want to be the champion, right? And you always want to commit to being the best at whatever it is that you're doing. And, you know, that's a mindset. Well, you call it the champion mindset. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a mindset that everybody should embrace.
Yes. I didn't realize, though, before how narrow-minded that was. Only looking at it from the fighter's viewpoint.
Right.
Now I'm looking at it from a whole organism standpoint.
Yeah.
So how I prepare for the fight, how do I get the best version of Cody? This is what a lot of managers don't understand, especially in the fight game. They think it's just all numbers. And it doesn't matter, okay, you were supposed to fight this month, boom, something happened, got cut off, you fight 4 weeks later, but you're still getting, to them, at 1 + 1 is 2. Business. Numbers are the same, but they don't realize, they don't see the fighter emotionally bleeding out on the ground, that you just changed. They're in survival mode, learning how to be comfortable in survival mode. That's the goal of being a fighter. Yeah. Now, you're doing all these things. How are you going to get the best fighter to show up on fight night when he's still holding in his hip a little untrust from what you just, how you handled a situation, how he moves through time and space is going to be different. So I start now, how I fuel the body is one thing. How I utilize the computer and program the nervous system is another thing. And then also my heart, little Cody, who's in here, which I call the soul, which I call little Cody, my little version of me, the truest little form. Baby, you see them, they're just innocent. That's them. What makes him happy? So can I pour enough fuel in there? If he's happy, the heart is so much stronger energetically. If you start measuring energy, so much stronger the voltage coming out of the heart than the head. So I got my gas tank filled out of the heart, which I believe everything runs off of. Yeah. Then my cells are all fueled through nutrition and proper hydration. And then my brain I'm in control of my brain, changing my brain waves, integrating different breathing patterns on how to change my brain waves to slow down, speed up time, all these things. Well, now you have the whole organism showing up to be its best version of itself, because it's getting fed not just through one filter, the mind, everywhere. Body, spirit.
Yeah.
So really, you take that, boxing is just an expression, right? So I take that into another human being. Okay, well, how do we get you to show up better tomorrow than today? okay, what are you doing today? Well, chances are the first thing is going to be just cleaning out the vessel. So how can we eliminate any toxicity coming in? So just by doing that, they're going to feel better than that. They're going to wake up with less brain fog tomorrow.
For sure.
And then inflammation starts to come out. Then other things. It can just keep going.
100%.
You can just keep going.
Okay. Well, thank you for this. Let me ask you two questions, or one question, and then I want you to talk about your song because I think it's pretty cool. Sort of non-serious question for you, but you've been a professional fighter for how long?
10 years.
10 years. Have you found socially when you go out that people want to pick on you? Like, do people want to be like, I want a piece of this guy?
No,
they're smarter. Smarter than the guys that I knew.
Surprisingly, in high school, that happened a lot.
Did it? Yeah.
A lot of people always wanted to. And I was the person who never wanted attention anyways.
Yeah.
So now attention plus fear, oh my God, that's horrible.
Right. Yeah.
But nowadays, no. It's actually the funny thing. 9 times out of 10, I'll be hanging out with people because I don't act like the fighter. Yeah. So, and then they hear out of the background, what, you box? No, you can't do that.
22-0, people. 22-0. Not only does he box, he doesn't lose.
So it's just, different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not that person anymore.
It's interesting. Well, and fair. And I will say I think I went to all of your events that you brought to Peterborough. Thank you for that, by the way. That was so cool. And what a great experience. I think I actually took my son to the last one, which was awesome to watch you. And it sounds like that was the challenging fight where everything was kind of coming unglued and you came out and you won. And you back to persevere, you found what you needed to get through that, right? And
even that one, so being the fighter and the promoter, that one, I remember Tuesday not only going to do one of our final workouts and not even being able to shadow box, but then going to a sponsorship dinner for a minute while my coach is like, hey, Stuart won't go get his blood work done that just went da-da-da. The nearest hospital out in BC is 4 hours away. He's not coming to fight this weekend. And I'm over here with people, thank you so much. Yeah. That's awesome. Also, while I know I can't physically move my body, and Cody's not showing up on Saturday.
Yeah.
So that level of emotions and everything. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Ibn had to go fly him the next morning, boom, 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 to Toronto, go with the dude I was fighting, jump on a plane with him, fly to Quebec because Quebec's the only one that does 24-hour blood turnaround times. Get his blood work done, and then fly back here Friday to be here for the weigh-in. Where so all this stuff, don't even know if I'm having a fight, but you still have to wear that mask, right? You know, as a business person.
Man, I'm like, this is so relatable as entrepreneurship, right? That is
no difference. Yeah. How the being shows up.
You have to show up as a leader.
Handles those internal walls and the monkey mind.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Well, I will say at those events, it's interesting how all of a sudden it is a very testosterone-filled venue. You'd see everybody walking out with a little bit more proud chest. Everybody felt a little tougher than they were leaving these.
One thing, so the last one actually, how people think oh, you must just go get drunk after, right?
I would not think that, actually. I think that would actually be really brutal on your body.
Current states of thinking,
right?
I was... Next thing you know, picking people up at the bar at 2 o'clock.
You're a DD.
Driving them home. Next thing you know, Taylor's brother's in the hospital. Fight or something. Yeah. Okay. So I'm at the hospital at 4 a.m, and the girl's like, I hate it every time you come to town. And I'm like, that's a great way to meet somebody. How are you doing? She goes, and I'm like, why? She goes, because everyone think they can fight. And then she goes, and people
they're
they're
lined up
because of fights that broke out. Downtown or after.
Oh, you can feel it. Every man felt a little bit more manly after watching you fight. And but you know what? The energy. I'll say that was a positive contribution to a lot of excitement and energy. And I know you talk about it as being in the circus and being the entertainment piece, but to see the dedication and the professionalism that you bring when you do fight. Again, I would say that's back to being the world champion. You portray yourself like a world champion, and that's so highly respected. Whether or not you want to fight or you don't, when you do, you show up as a true champion.
I truly appreciate that. It's where, as much as I don't want to fight, believe me, that fire is in there because the ring has been the most truthful place that I've ever experienced in this world. You're literally in a circle square, and you have a set perimeters. You just have your body, and me and this other man are going to utilize our bodies to dismantle each other. Now, everything that's false in this world, no matter how many so-and-so big friends you have, how many promotions, how much money, nice your fridge looks, your cars, how much you can sweet talk a girl, you pulled this, you pulled that, you have all these friends. And that time and space comes where it's just you and another being, and all that goes out the window. And I get you so tired to the point where you can't move your legs, and then your arms are so tired, your eyes swollen shut, you can't even hold your hands up. You find out who you are.
Yeah.
At the truest depth level. And it's been the most beautiful thing to me.
Tell everybody, actually, again, Cody and I just happened to run into each other at the gym the other day, which is great. We were not fighting, sparring, or anything like that. I couldn't do it. But you actually put on for me a song that you have called Fighter. Tell me a little bit about Fighter.
So Fighter came about when I started to become this different person. And I started to see and understand, shoot, Cody, all you are trying to do in that ring when you fight is express yourself and create. It's just that's the avenue that you chose. And one of the reasons why when your hand gets raised and you feel empty is because you're not creating all that you want to create. I have, like I've shared with you, a lot more stuff than you would have known.
For sure.
So music, though, my whole entire life, it doesn't matter. I could be anywhere in the world, listen to any song, and connect to the story of that artist while they were writing it.
Right.
To a point where I just lived their life. You feel it to a truth in your own nervous system just through that music. And I'm like, wow, the effect that I could have on connecting with people and showing more of myself other than this.
He's hitting me again, guys. He's hitting me again.
It's just so like exhilarating, and it gives me energy to want to create, because I've been very restricted on how Cody gets to express himself.
Yeah.
And here I was at one of my buddies just having a little like conscious health friendly friends together to work out, and he's like, will you put us through some stuff? So I'm training a girl, and I'm like, God, it'd be nice if I just found like a singer or songwriter. And then all of a sudden, here she is, and I'm helping her out, stretching her leg and working on it. And she's like, do you want to meet up? And we can write some stuff. And next thing you know, she helped me and just started writing all my thoughts and feelings and everything. And we just started working together. And she's a professional singer. And
yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we created this song called Fighter. And the very cool thing about it, I wanted to go and do a music video, everything with it, but have both of our lives in it, because here I am the fighter that you see in the arenas, the Coliseum,
what you're known for.
All this, yes. But then here you see her in a trailer raising two kids, going through these, showing up to a gig, not getting paid, like how that fighter on what I was actually trying to express is the same for every person. Every person has a fighter inside of them. They have that warrior inside of them, and they're all going through their own battle that no one else knows. Yeah. So it felt very relatable, and I felt like I could touch a lot of people's hearts with that. Just letting them know that I'm just like you. I'm no better, and I'm hurting. I'm trying.
But I've got the fierce competition of a champion in whatever it is that I do. Right? Like you're obsessed, and I can see it even with the non-fighting. Like you're obsessed with understanding your body and your mind and your soul. Yeah. And that's so powerful. So whatever it is that you're doing, you've got this obsession of a world champion mindset, and it's fantastic. Right? And I know that you're going to, whether it's boxing, whether it's, speaking, sharing your story, or being the boxer yogi, helping people with their health and their spirituality, I know it's going to be a success. And it's super cool to be in the presence of a champion, to be honest. And many people out here, will understand what the mindset of being a champion is, because you do have to obsess. You have to give things up. You have to be resilient. There's a lot of hard, challenging times that we have to go through, and it's your commitment to seeing it through. right? That makes you the real champion.
I'm speaking to the champion right now. Everything for this building to get here, for every employee here, I'm pretty sure you go more than 12 rounds a day up here.
Oh God, yeah. And as does everybody who's listening, you know.
But that's exactly what I mean. We can all be champions.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to strive for and help people with.
And that's what you're doing. Everybody, Cody Crowley, such a pleasure to have you in here, and I can't wait to continue to follow your story, your journey. Follow you on Instagram,
Cody Crowley Boxing. Super simple. I appreciate that.
Yeah, 100%, because I think Cody Crowley Boxing is going to evolve into being even more than just a fighter. And I think fighter, you know, when you write the fighter story, I think that it's not just about boxing. It's about the fight and the struggle and finding that champion in you. So follow Cody for sure. I know, and I hope that we're going to maybe do some fun things together at some point, because I love working with world champions in everything, in every facet of their life, which would be super cool. For those of you entrepreneurs, you know, you've listened to this, you've heard about what it takes to be a champion, you've heard about the struggles that we can all relate to. There's so much that people have gone through in their own right, how to overcome those, how to find your true passion, and how to become the next champion in whatever it is that you're doing, and to continue to believe in yourself and find the best level of yourself. So if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you give us a like, give us a follow, throw in any comments. I'm happy to answer anything that Cody can answer. I will make sure that I get it to him. To follow him on Instagram, Cody Crowley Boxing. If you know someone who you think could benefit from hearing this story today, to understanding some of the obstacles that others have to overcome and how to be a true champion, please share this episode. We're trying to empower the world's entrepreneurs with good information so that we can change the world together. So thank you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Cody, thank you for everything.
Thank you very much, brother.